out for a while. Kudos to Ryan Williams for figuring that out. That's really, really cool. So you should be able to sync all your libraries on all your devices at any given moment with the new refresh button. Now, that being said, I have not been able to figure out how to do it yet on my own device on my Mac. So I think there may be a missing piece on the Mac version, and I am trying to figure that out. But on your regular device, you should be able to have that, no problem. And also you should be able to now, I understand, and again, I haven't done it yet, you should be able to add your custom libraries to your custom playlist. Your custom libraries to your custom playlist. So once again, if you can't quite do it yet, we will have it figured out, but that's really the idea. And let's see what's going on here. Okay, great. Everybody, yeah, please engage in the chat, connect with each other. Remember to drop down and just go ahead and make sure you're chatting to everyone. So I want to say hi to Lorraine. I want to say hi to Rochelle, Wendy. Thank you so much. Beth, be sure that you good morning to everyone. Drop down and give everybody good morning. Lisa, you're the best, joining us from Florida. Thank you so much for your referrals and creating your own little team there with the Genius. Like, you're amazing, as well as so many of us. Beth, thanks for your recent referral. Just really wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing what you love about the Genius. We recently did a study where we found that people had a 50% reduction of symptoms in all the areas that we asked them questions about over an 8-week period, and it was amazing. We did a presentation on that last week, and you can catch that on my YouTube channel. Really, the Genius is beyond amazing, really something incredible, and we're so grateful that you're part of our community. We're gonna have some fun today, talking all about the Genius, and we're gonna be giving away to our attendees. Anybody who joined here today is gonna be able to get that 5 Tibetan Rites of Longevity. And let's talk a little bit about that. This is a really fun series of physical movements that I'm going to show you we've actually incorporated into the Genius. So we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Fun times. Also, I'll take your questions. Anything you want to ask about your Genius, you're welcome to do in the chat as well. And thank you very much for joining. Now, next week, we're going to have even more fun. We're going to do one of our trivia contests. We haven't done it in a while. So we're going to have some great fun bringing out the features of the Genius that you might not know about or might not understand. So come and volunteer to be on our trivia. During our trivia contest, we'll take people who will participate. We usually do 3 at a time. And what we will do is we'll give away prizes to as many rounds of trivia that we can go through that day. So please make sure to join us next week. Now, we are going to have a new Zoom link, so make sure you look for that on our events page at geniusbiofeedback.com. Geniusbiofeedback.com. We're going to have a new link soon on our events page. So you'll see that after class today, so there's no confusion. Go ahead and sign up for our new link at the same time, Mondays at 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern time. All right, so let's talk about the 5 Tibetan Rites and how you would, I really want to talk about how you would assimilate something like this into your Genius. Now, right off the bat, the 5 Tibetan Rites are a physical form of exercise. And thank you everybody who's joining. We've got hi from Seattle, Maria joining us. We've got hi from Vancouver Island, Madeline joining us, Naomi. We've got people from Saskatoon, from Colorado, from Hollywood, from Washington State. Everybody feel free to jump in. We've got people from all over the country and all over the world. Feel free to say hi and exchange with people in the chat. So right off the bat, 5 Tibetan Rites, this is a physical movement. And please understand that we can't really replace physical movement with the Genius. There are some things that you can tap into frequency-wise, and we're going to talk about those. But we are in a physical body, and I invite you into a space of enjoying your physical body and just doing some of these exercises to help reduce stagnation, pain, help anti-aging. We're going to talk all about that. But I've always been fascinated by these 5 Tibetan rites. They're ancient rites, and the specific movements in these rites are amazing for human beings. And so what we've done is we've incorporated the movements and connected them with the chakras that they clear, the meridians that they clear, the spinal energy that it helps to clear, and then we've incorporated that into this library, which also you can get completely for free for being here today. So Obviously these are ancient exercises that were done by the Tibetan monks they're sort of like yogic exercises, but there's something specifically in these exercises that has something for you to help your body to be stronger, to be more agile, to have less stagnation or stuckness in the body. And it specifically works in a way in this series to clear the chakras. So there's an incredible ability to clear the chakras as well as strengthen the body. So people who do this on a regular basis, and I would want you to work up to it, you might be able to only do one of each of the exercises to start with, but then you can build up and build up and build up until you can get to 21 rounds, which is what they suggest that you do, 21 of each of the rites. Okay, now I do need a volunteer if you'd like to volunteer today, and I'll work on the 5 Tibetan rites for you, as well as do some healing and clearing and go through the paces here with you. So always, if you want to have somebody join us who needs a scan or is new to our community, you can do that. So let's talk about people who do the 5 Tibetan rites. They wake up feeling more refreshed. They have relief from joint pain, their memory, missing a Y, their memory improves, arthritis relief, endurance, vigor, all of the things you would kind of expect from doing yoga. Like, they're very yogic-like exercises, but they're tried and true. They clear out your chakras from head to toe. They help to balance your endocrine system. They're going to activate that pineal gland. They're going to get some of your cranial nerves back intact because of the spinning. So it's a fantastic thing. You know, as you age, losing balance is one of the big risks of aging. And it's because if we don't use it, we lose it. And you know that there's a lot of energetics in spirals, in spiraling, in the energetics of spirals. We have a tremendous amount of energy. And so we're going to be able to see that in the Tibetan rites here. So think about the energy of spirals. And when you spiral, what happens? You create that energy and resonance within your own body. Very, very cool stuff. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Okay, the first rite is basically spinning or twirling. Okay, so we'll go back and forth here, but let's describe how we do it. We stand shoulder feet apart. We spin clockwise, right, with the arms up. We keep the gaze towards the ground. And absolutely, if you've never done this, you want to go slowly in the beginning, because that cranial nerve, the vestibulocochlear nerve, something happens to it. If we don't use it, we lose it. So as you do the first spinning, you're going to feel like the whole room around you is spinning, and you're like, okay, I can't do this. You want to stop and just do 1 or 2 and then go to the next rite and then do it again tomorrow and the next day. You will start to find that the room will stop spinning. So as you become good at this twirling, your vestibulocochlear nerve will be woken up. It will be more healthy. And yes, the room will still spin to a degree, but not like when you started where you feel like you have to sit down, you're going to lose your balance. So go very slowly with this, but know that it is doing incredible things so you can keep your good balance as you age. And it's very good for the health of your brain. So that's it. So twirling in that clockwise motion. Now, there are many videos on YouTube where you can see demonstrations of the 5 Tibetan rites of longevity. So feel free to go there and see that for just seeing it in action. So now when we think about this one, we want to, let me see if I can just move this over here. We've actually combined the first rite, and this is how you would create your own library for something similar. Like the first rite is about the twirling is connected to your 7th chakra. And so we've connected it in the library to 528 hertz, that famous solfeggio for transformation and miracles. So the first rite of longevity has been programmed into the genius as that twirling. Let's see if I can actually get both of these in the screenshot here. So you can see this one, the first rite of longevity, and you could do this yourself when you write a library. So what I tried to figure out is what is this rite creating in the body? So the twirling is going to be activating that 7th chakra energetically. And so I coupled it with 528 hertz. So let me put this back down here. So when if you're thinking about a yogic posture or something yourself that you want to write libraries for, this would be, you want to think about what is it activating in the body? What is it activating energetically? So that's how we have connected the genius and created the libraries. Now, would it be a great adjunct to do the libraries while you're doing the 5 rites? Of course, that's going to enhance what you're doing in your movement. So that's the first rite. So the second rite is leg raises. Now they seem very simple. You just want to get them done correctly. And again, you can watch videos, and it's also the progression of doing them, going from twirling to go to the second rite of the leg raises. And let's read a little bit about how that is being done. Have your legs stretched out, feet together, arms by your side. Slowly raise both legs together as you inhale. Lift your leg towards your thighs, not your thighs. Your leg towards your thighs. Bring your chin to your chest. Keep your palms facing down. Exhale, and then lower your legs. So let's look at them again. So the key here is you want to make sure you lift that chin up, right? So you're going to start in that prone position. Make sure you keep the palms down and lift the head up. This is wonderful for stretching the neck, which we don't really get enough of, and this is going to also help to exercise the spine. Now, the first time you do this, you may not have a lot of movement. You may not have a lot of flexibility. You may not be able to raise the legs all the way up. You may not even be able to move your neck. You might have a lot of stagnation there, but go slowly. Maybe you can do 1. But doing 1, that's going to help the strength of your spine. It's also going to help the core muscles. So we've associated this one, the second one, I'm just peeking here at our second rite of longevity. We've associated it with the second, I think we've associated it with the solar chakra. So with the solar chakra, so the second rite of longevity, associating it with the third chakra to expand that. And then we added a frequency in order to do that. So second rite of longevity, leg raises, third chakra activation. And because the third chakra is a lot of the digestive system, the solar plexus, the digestion, we associated and connected it to Nogier B, 584 hertz. And we also have frequencies in this library related to the chakras, frequencies for the chakras, and related to all the meridians. So we have frequencies for the meridians programmed into this. So you can see some patterns coming up, and we're going to look at that. And again, if you want to volunteer, go ahead and send your date of birth, and we'll go through these for you. Now, again, it's not a substitute for doing wonderful exercise, but you want to get into your physical body and maybe run these on quick balance or put all of them into the main hold tray while you're doing the 5 Tibetan rites of longevity, and then see what your aura looks like before and after. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one. The third one is called the dynamic camel. This is one, again, you really want to go slowly, almost like going back to the first one with the twirling. It's really, we spend most of our life in flexion. So sitting in a chair, you're going to be flexing your hips, right? Sort of going over to the computer, the phone, the iPad, we're going to be doing this a lot. So we spend so much time in flexion that we don't have the joy or the bliss of what it can be like to really experience extension. And there's a lot of cleansing, there's a lot of energetic opening that happens when we spend time in extension, which is why those yogic postures that encourage us to do extension are glorious. They're freeing, they're liberating. And you'll know if you do a few of these over a series of days, you feel like you're being liberated from your body. You feel like you're being liberated from sort of the heaviness of being in the physical body. And so for this one, you're starting right with on the knees. And again, you might have to put a blanket under here, right? Not a lot of people are used to sitting in that position. And so your knees might be real stiff. Just put a blanket or support underneath. That's fine. Make sure the arms are at their side. And then very, very slowly, right? You're going to put the arms at the side. You're going to begin to lean back. And in the beginning, your whole body will complain about, I know because I've done this. And of course you can see, look at what's going to be happening to the kidneys. You're going to be compressing. The whole key of yoga and the Tibetan rites of longevity is this energy of compression. This is one of the secrets of longevity that is not known and not talked about very much. And that is when you're sort of stretching back, you're stopping a lot of the blood flow that comes into the kidneys. But when you release, it's like a tourniquet effect. You're going to create an over circulation into that area to compensate. And as you do, you bring in oxygen and nutrition through the bloodstream, removing stagnation, improving all of the oxygenation in that place that maybe hasn't gotten proper oxygen for months or for years. And the body, remember, the body's, when you experience pain in the body, it's the body's request for oxygen. When you're feeling stiffness and tightness, it's because not enough oxygen has gotten into there on a regular basis. So this compression, this holding the posture and then releasing, you're going to feel this bliss. You're going to feel this enjoyment. You're going to feel this sort of almost like a boost of neurotransmitters in doing this type of an exercise. So in the third rite, we're leaning back. You're also stretching your liver. You're stretching the energy around the liver. And that's really a new experience for a lot of people. So you want to go slow, but as you do these day by day over time, you're going to feel elated. You're going to feel renewed. You're cleansing all the organs, all the glands, the endocrine system. You're purifying the blood. It's very, very exciting. So you come to a kneeling position with your hips stacked over your knees. Place your hands at the back of your thighs. Inhale, lean back, arch the spine as you slide your hands down the thighs. We're going to look at this picture again. Do not lean too far back. Go slowly and build up over time. And again, start with just one, right? Start with just one of these. And even if you did one of each of the rites every day, you don't want to get too into it. You want to go slow. You are going to be experiencing the benefits throughout the rest of your day. It's really, really cool. Now, I think the third rite we associated with the kidneys for sure. If I go into this and take a peek here. So the third rite of longevity is associated with frequencies for the kidneys. So we combined the movement with known rife frequencies for tuning up the kidneys. So that, as I said, is in this particular library that we've created. The third rite of the longevity, the dynamic camel, working on kidney energy and also working at the level of the second chakra. So we did a kidney frequency for this, 318.87 hertz, and we combine it with the movement. So again, you could think about that when you're creating your own libraries, like how is this movement changing the body? Go ahead and put that frequency in and combine all the benefits of the frequency balancing with the actual movement. Really, really cool stuff. Like so many amazing things you can do with your genius, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look at the fourth one called moving tabletop. This is really going to strengthen the core and it's really going to help to stretch out the shoulders. So again, we spend a lot of time with the shoulders rounded. This is like, protect the heart, all protection, but also just by virtue of the way that we sit, hunched forward. And so this allows this to all stretch out. So this is really going to help the heart. So I believe this is the fourth one. It's interesting. It's the fourth rite. I believe it's also associated with the fourth chakra. So we've incorporated that in there and also associated with spinal energy because you're really strengthening the spine here. And so we associated this one with Nogier E, which is all about the energetics of the spine. So Nogier E is incorporated with the fourth rite, but it also is working on opening that heart energy. So it's going to help to open up that heart chakra. So the fourth is the moving tabletop. You can see you start there kind of in that seated position again, and you're going to push backwards. You might not be able to get a lot of lift in those hips to begin with. Go slow. Really, if you commit to doing it for 21 days in a row, you will be able to do more than one by the end, and you'll have increased a lot of flexibility. So do this and then play the 5 Tibetan rites of longevity frequencies that you're going to receive today. And we'll talk about some different ways that you could combine them or do them. And some of the results will also tell you maybe which one you need to focus on, which is the rite that's coming up the most for you, which is the top red and which is the lower blue. And you could really focus on that particular rite. That might be telling you something about what you need. So a little bit about this rite in particular. Core engagement, strengthening the abdominals, the upper body, and the upper legs. You stand in the seated position with the legs straight and the feet together. Inhale and press your legs into the floor. If you've ever done the table move in yoga, you'll know this one. Lift your hips up and swing them forward while bending your knees. Knees should be stacked over the ankles, shoulders over the wrists. Be careful with the wrists. The wrists can also have a lot of stagnation. So be careful when you're, stretching out those wrists for the first time. If you get resistance, then maybe just release yourself and try the next day and just work up over time. So exhale to slowly lower the hips by swinging them back and relax completely. So let's look at it again. So again, you have those hands down, you're moving the body up. You're really creating some nice core stability. And that's really important for your back health, is having core stability so you don't have sway back, lordosis, things like that. So these are incredibly helpful just for overall body strengthening. And this might take you 15 minutes a day and you're done. We really don't have to do that much exercise, especially when we're engaging in stretching and also isometric exercise. There may be a case to be made that instead of using all of the weights at the gym, that actually isometric exercises may care for the health of your joints and help the endurance of your joints longer, maybe take better. So isometric exercise and stretching, very, very powerful for building energy in the body. And then the fifth rite is actually downward dog to upward dog. So pretty easy if you've done any yoga. Almost every yoga class will incorporate downward dog and upward dog. And of course, this is strengthening the entire spine, the core of the body, and just a wonderful stretching experience. We just spend so much time, sort of contracted in the physical body, and yoga and these types of rites are giving you a chance to really expand, extend, and you just really experience it the rest of your day when you spend some time doing this, right? So you start in downward facing dog and engage the core, move into upward facing dog. It's just such a great stretch for the back and for the glutes. And then you return to downward facing dog. So now we're going to answer any of your questions that you've had about the library, and we're going to look at it in a little bit more detail, and then we'll test a volunteer of the library. So what we did in the library, now we're going to give the link for the library in just a moment. You can go check out with that one for free, and we'll get that to you today for sure. But it's really fun, and I would just suggest that you do it in conjunction with doing the actual physical exercises to get the most benefit out of it. So you see how we connected all the different rites to this one is strengthening cardiovascular, and also because it's so opening, sort of like the fourth one, opening of that heart area, we also put in a 73 hertz, which is a nogier for emotional harmony. So think about that when you're creating those libraries, about connecting the physical body exercise to the energetic opening to enhance it, to make it even better. And so since it's doing all types of organ opening and chakra clearing, we put in known frequencies and we programmed in the right frequencies to this library for kidney meridian clearing, fifth chakra, throat chakra clearing, all of these different energetics, meridian clearing, spleen meridian clearing, crown chakra, fourth rite, the moving tabletop, right, with the nogier. So we programmed all of those in as actual rite frequencies, which is something that anybody can do. So it's a really fun library to work with, and I want it to help to strengthen you both physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I think you can have a lot of fun with this particular library. Okay, so let's see if we have a volunteer anywhere, somebody who would like to volunteer today. And let's go ahead and see who would like to volunteer to be part of the class. And we will definitely get you we'll tell you how to get that library in just a moment. So thank you again for being part of our Genius Biofeedback community. We greatly appreciate it so much. So Gwendolyn, if you wanted to volunteer, we would need your date of birth. So we'd need that pretty quickly, and let us know. And I'm just reading over your comments, seeing if there's any questions. Okay, I create bracelets of different crystals and have Tibetan prayer beads. It'll be wonderful to infuse this new library into my beads. Lisa, you're so creative with everything that you're doing. You're such a wonderful gift. All right, well, Gwendolyn, let's go ahead and promote you up here to a panelist. And I know that you recently got your Genius, and we really super appreciate you so much. So thank you so much. Okay, it looks like you're in here twice. So let's try to promote you here and see if it works. And we'll just keep talking. And this is so great to give to clients after a session. That's a good idea, to incorporate it into a band. We recently got these stickers that have shungite powder in them. I'm going to be showcasing them more next week. So you can infuse these, and I'm going to be showing you how we imprint them. And you tip of the hat to Rachel, who's been doing this. I really want more of you to incorporate, if you feel so called to go ahead and incorporate more of an imprinting aspect to your business, and either give that out at the end of a session or have that as a total separate income stream that you do. So get that remedy played out and start infusing shungite and gemstones and bracelets. Some people are creating entire businesses just on the ability of the Genius to do powerful imprinting. And I hope you will do that as well. So let's see. Okay, we've got Gwendolyn. And Gwendolyn, if you want to join us by camera, you're certainly welcome to do that. How are you, my dear?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for joining our Genius community and having your package and everything. What have you been doing with your Genius so far?
I'm very excited. I've been using it all day, every day.
Have you noticed anything in particular, or have you worked on friends or family or anyone where they've noticed a difference?
You know, I started working on friends, but I'm really focusing on myself right now, learning how to use
Yes,
it.
that's
And
wonderful. That's wonderful.
yes, yeah, different things with my physical garment for sure.
That's
Yeah,
lovely. Have you
yeah.
found, since, are you completely new to biofeedback? Is this the first time you're using something related to quantum biofeedback?
You know, Dr. Ariel, I've loved quantum frequencies, and I've had a Rife machine and an iTerra wand, and I've been with Young Living for like 25 years. So this was so exciting when my dear friend introduced me to this. So it's
I love it. Well, you fit right in like a glove. You've been just really taking to it and utilizing it, and that's just really exciting. So, big congratulations to you.
well, thank you so much, and thank you for what you're doing. This is just so exciting for not only for me, but for, I just say, the planet,
It
humanity. This is
is.
good
It is.
stuff. It
I mean,
really, really is.
as we've gotten more and more Genius users, imagine people waking up every day and sending these frequencies all over the planet, crisscrossing all over the planet. Imagine what it's doing for people, and even just the planet as a whole, like you're saying. It's pretty cool.
It really is. We're just so blessed, really.
Well, you are a blessing to have with us today. I'm just trying to get your date of birth in here. So just give me one more moment. I want to get it right. And we're just sort of showing that, we're doing that off camera. That's why you're just not seeing it. Then I'm going to go into the analysis. I'm using this on my Mac on my computer that I'm broadcasting the Zoom from. And it's really convenient. I hope to be able to get the new update on here. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. If anybody's done that, you can let me know. But you should be able to get it on your regular device as well. Let's just go ahead and move this out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and record your voice. Are you ready for that?
I am. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and I'll record it in 3, 2, 1. I'm recording.
Hi, my name is Gwendolyn Schoen Stewart. Gwendolyn Schoen Stewart, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U. My focus is divine health, abundance, beautiful life.
Okay, and you can actually watch the countdown of the frequencies. There is a little bit of a delay always in the broadcast, but you can actually see them here. And I can probably call people's attention to that more so they can see that as it's counting down. So then we analyze the voice. And did you want me to take your picture?
Sure. I don't know what I look like here, but it's all good. Where are we?
Yeah, you're fine. Oh, it's so
There
nice
we
to
are.
see you. It's so nice to see you on camera so we can put a face to the name because I know we've been communicating so much. So it's wonderful to have you here. Let's see if I can. Actually, I've never taken a picture. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. That's so funny. How can I take a picture? Because we'd have to take a picture of this and not of the screen unless I turn the camera to the screen. I just know I'm not going to. All right, let me turn my camera off for a moment here while I finagle this. And okay, so do you think you're going to start seeing clients? Do you think you'll
Um,
start working with clients?
I am so busy right now just with my clients. So
Oh, that's great. So you have a healing practice?
not in this context here. I work with individuals out into the community that have challenges, I guess, is what I'll say.
Okay, let's see if it'll work on this. It's going to
Oh,
be a little,
wow.
let's see if it's going to be in a sort of, it's like the little Russian nesting doll here. Isn't that funny? I'm going to have to work with this and figure out how we can do it, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go with that, even though we kind of have you in duplicate there. That's not bad. We got you from
Yep.
two different perspectives. Let me stop the video again and we'll redo the camera here. So yeah, so oh my gosh, you're going to be able to do a lot with your genius, Gwendolyn. I can just really tell. So
I'm
that is
excited.
really, really cool and very, very exciting. Let me see if I can redo myself here. So, okay, fantastic, amazing. All right, we'll begin the analysis. Now, is there anything in particular that you are working on?
I am working on my joints, and I have a seeming pain in my body a lot, right? I'm off to see a surgeon today for my ankle.
What's going on? What happened with your ankle? Did
You
you
know what?
injure it at one
I
point?
injured it 7 years ago at work, and it's 30% out, and they're looking at doing an ankle replacement, but I'll have to see.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll have to, send me an email. What we're going to do today for being on, of course, you're going to get the 5 Tibetan Rites of Longevity,
Yeah.
which I think will help. But we're also going to send you a library on interference fields. And you're going to want that if you do end up getting a surgery. But even for the previous injury, interference fields, they're places where we have breaks or cuts, surgery, when there's a needle, something, a knife that cuts into the body, it creates a change in the meridian system called an interference
Absolutely.
field. And we can work that out through our library. We'll show that one today while working on you. We're going to gift it to you. And then also with that, we usually do clay packs. So we can send you some information on that as well as share that with people in the weekly newsletter. So I'm glad you brought that.
Wonderful.
You brought that up.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. So what I'm going to do also, if you have a quanta capsule that you've assigned to yourself, we could send you some frequencies today. So let me know if you did that, or if you want to sneak the download of the 14-day trial while I'm working on you, you could do that as well. But let me just have you relax, sit back, enjoy all the fun here, and we'll come back and visit with you in just a little bit, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. You're great. She's on it. You're so tech on it too. I love it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we'll hit begin analysis. So we sort of figured out, the camera is like a Logitech camera that sits on top of this computer and is connected with the Mac Mini to just a keyboard and a monitor. And so I had to figure out how to pull the camera off and point it at her photo showed on the Zoom. I'm sure I'll come up with something else where we can do that, but in the moment, that was the best I came up with. So we're going to go ahead and we did the scan here. She's got some interesting reds and blues. Now keep in mind that your screen on your Genius has changed somewhat because the parameters on the Genius have changed a bit, where anything above 600 is showing as red, anything below 200 is showing as blue. So just kind of get your eyes adjusted to that. When you're looking at reds and blues, you may have to do some adjusting where you go, okay, well, that one is a really high 7, and this is a lot closer to 600. So, you're very smart and very smart individuals. You're very smart. You're well capable of being able to utilize this. So to distinguish between a low high and a high high is what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and click on the aura. Let's go ahead and do an aura scan here. Where are we starting from? Now the aura is not a standalone program. It's just to give you some basics of what you're looking at and what you're seeing. in the beginning of a session so you can take a picture of it and then compare it to what you're seeing at the end. And for those of you who joined, you are going to get the 5 Tibetan Rites of Longevity library. Everybody who's attending today is going to get that library, and we're going to show you how to get that library in just a little bit. So stay tuned for that, and thank you for attending today. We're going to look at the 5 Tibetan Rites of Longevity for Gwendolyn today, as well as looking at those interference fields for her. So we're going to have some fun with that. Now we're starting off interesting with this really kind of golden yellow here. And usually when we see this kind of gold color or gold hue, we're thinking about some digestive clearing, maybe some liver gallbladder clearing, maybe some digestive clearing overall. And remember, we talked about that for, I think, the Third Rite of Longevity, really working on that solar plexus, and we combined it with a Nogier for digestion, so we can work with that as well. Now, the colors of the aura a little bit more on the dull side, whereas we want to see them lighter and brighter, sort of crisper and clearer. And we expect to see that in the beginning of our session. We're also surrounded here by sort of a very light blue, which is reminiscent more of stagnation. So we're hoping it will brighten up in color, and it's a little bit cloudy. But blue is going to be associated with the throat chakra, the 5th chakra, thyroid issues, communication, something to do with that, maybe even the voice, speaking, things like that. So let's go ahead, and we'll also hide the avatar so we can see that central point. It's sort of similar to what we're seeing in this ring. It's sort of a greenish yellowish, and we do see a little hue of green here. It's going to be about the it could be about the heart chakra, but notice the dullness of the green. It almost reminds me of gallbladder, that color of the green. We do see another blue ring here. So let's show the avatar again. I like to see things in perspective of the avatar itself. Okay, let's pop out of that and let's go to where we need to go here. So let's just take a look up and down. We could, if we wanted to, we could take all the red and blue items, and we could go ahead and then place the reds and blues from these into our particular main hold tray. So what we could do is we could take our reds and our blues from all the ones coming up here. So this would be one way of going about your session. Just go ahead, and especially if you're new to our community, just go right up and down and choose the reds and the blues from every one in the system overview that has reds and blues. And that's a perfectly acceptable way to do a session. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's no downside to it. I'm just going to do one more here to show, and we could go all the way down the list and do our reds and blues. Now we want to get to the heart of the matter. Let's go ahead into our custom libraries. And as I said, I understand that the most recent update has incorporated the custom libraries where you can now use these libraries to make a custom playlist. If you've noticed that, if you've been successful with that, let us know in the chat if anybody has been able to take their custom libraries and associate it into a custom playlist in the main part of the program. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and select and search for what I want to search for, which is going to be the 5 Tibetan Rites. And isn't that interesting? It's really resonating for her. There must have been a reason that she volunteered today. Look at that. So when you see that low blue, the order is high reds are like acute or superficial. But as you go down to low, which is also reactive, it's depth, it's chronicity. Now you say, how can 5 Tibetan Rites of Longevity be chronic? It's not that it's chronic, but whenever something is red and blue, it means it's really resonating for that person. It really wants to be added to the tray, wants to be incorporated in the frequencies that you're running for that person. So 5 Tibetan Rites of Longevity means there's something in this particular library that really wants to reach out and help and be included in the balancing for today. So we're going to go ahead and open that one up. And the first thing we see is spleen meridian clearing. So spleen meridian has to do with the digestive system and assimilation. And spleen chi deficiency is when we sit for too long or we're doing a lot of mental work. It's also associated with dampness. And so spleen chi deficiency is just really feeling very tired, feeling very stagnant. It has to do with issues of, blood sugar regulation, weight gain, things like that. So it's, then we have so we're going to incorporate all the reds and all of the blues here into the tray. And it says the third rite of longevity associated with kidney energy and that second chakra. And in the dynamic camel, remember, we're also stretching backwards. We're opening up the heart, and we're also stretching the liver. So it could really have benefits for the liver. Brain circulation increasing and memory improving. I put this in because it's one of the benefits of working with the 5 Tibetan rites. So this tells me this could be a very positive benefit to be gleaned from doing the 5 physical exercises in sequence. The 4th chakra clearing, the heart chakra, that's interesting because that's something we saw in the aura. So we have a Hertz frequency just for that. Expanding the Kundalini energy, and there's actually a frequency for this. The reason I included that is because doing the entire 5 Tibetan rites from beginning to end is a way to awaken the Kundalini energy in your body. It's a very high vibrational, very wonderful thing to do, not just for your physical body, but for your etheric body. And then it says here, the first rite of longevity, the twirling, opening up that 7th chakra. So these are calling to her, saying these would be wonderful physical exercises for her to benefit from. And once again, we can't really just get those benefits from playing the frequencies. We want to engage the physical body. It feels so good to do that. And as I said, it helps with the compression to really push that circulation, help you to get blood, which means oxygen and nutrition to the places that really need it. So the triple warmer clearing, again, that is about assimilation, digestion. So that seems to be a common theme here. The heart meridian clearing, first chakra opening, second rite, the 5th rite, all of them calling to her, second chakra clearing, crown chakra, which was mentioned in the one above, 3rd chakra opening, all of these things really calling to her. Let's also, so one thing you could do with this is you could just run it on quick balance. You wouldn't have to do anything else. You could just come into your Genius. So when you get this library today, when we send it to you today, you could just put this on quick balance and you could just play. Let's go ahead and do that for a minute. You could just play these energies on quick balance. Very easy to do. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to add anything to the tray and you're done. You could also connect your remedy plate. If you don't have a remedy plate, connect your headphones, put them around a bracelet, some water, a nice gemstone that you really like, a piece of shungite, or we're going to talk about stickers that have shungite powder that you can program. We're going to talk about that in the trivia contest next week. So all of these things are wonderful, and you can do them with ease and very, very easy now. So if you don't have time to do your 5 Tibetan rites of longevity in the morning, you'll do them later. You could play the frequencies on quick balance like this. And I think you're going to find this is a total body, head to toe, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual tune-up, which is really fun to do, or to imprint into your water in the morning. How about imprinting it into your tea or imprinting it into your water? Maybe you do a little bit of solfeggio frequencies in the tray as well as your 5 Tibetan rites of longevity. And wouldn't that be wonderful to do that for your morning beverage? So let's go ahead. It says the client responded positively, which means they went to over 40% rectification or 50% rectification. Let's go ahead and go back and look at this now. Just out of curiosity, what does the aura look like? And then we're going to add the flower essences to the tray, and we're going to see what her top flower essence is for today. And we are going to share this library with every person who's attended today. I'm going to go back and look at your comments in just a moment so you can keep your questions coming. I really appreciate you joining us today for the 5 Tibetan rites of longevity, how you can put it into your Genius and use it to its greatest effect. Well, my goodness, look at that change in the aura. Let's go ahead and see if we can look at these pictures. Let's go ahead and look at the before and after. I'm going to bring in the before in, if my computer will cooperate, in just a moment here. And there we go. Okay, we're going to bring it in here. Let me just move these pictures around in my gallery in just a moment. And that is just looking amazing for 1 minute of balancing, looking tremendous, looking great. Look at that. What a difference a minute can make. You know, when the Genius was being developed, there was a previous version of the Genius. This is going back to about 2015. It was called the Infinity. And one of the things that Ryan Williams really focused on when he was creating the algorithms and frequency codes for the Genius was, how can we do this in a shorter amount of time? And so it was really meant for the busy practitioner where maybe you only have 1 or 2 minutes and you want to have some significant change. Now, we know you run things for more than 1 to 2 minutes, but you could also do a rescan. We're going to show that. So in 1 to 2 minutes, you could have a positive benefit. You could really shift that person's energy, and then you could drill everything down again in a rescan in order to have more impact during a session, because you're going to go to deeper and deeper levels of significance for the client. We're going to show that in just one moment here. So look at the difference that we get just through those 5 Tibetan rites on 1 minute, and look at how much brighter. Look at how the dullness, the grays in the first one. Look how energy is increasing, that circulation, that stagnation is leaving the body. Very, very cool. What a wonderful effect to see with your client when you're working with them or when you're working on yourself. So now we can always have a very impactful session when we're working with our neurotransmitters. Not neurotransmitters. Wow. This is not neurotransmitters. When we're working with our Bach flower essences, my brain is still on the weekend. So funny. Okay, let's try that one again. When we're working with our Bach flower essences, I always want to have a tremendous impact when I'm working with Bach flower essences. Maybe I said neurotransmitters for a reason, so I'm just going to incorporate them. Maybe they're very significant to the client. As you work with the genius, you become a channel or a vessel for different things. So it's good to just observe. Maybe that was sort of, spirit coming through. So, but I really do want to incorporate Bach flower essences are energies that help people to change on the emotional plane. Almost every physical manifestation that we have has some emotional component to it. So Bach flower essences can really help to supercharge your session. You want to always use Bach flower essences when you can use them in a session. Okay, Bach flower essence, I'm going to take all of the reds and all of the blues, but I'm not going to consider so much what I'm seeing right here in front of me. I want to use them in the main hold tray, retest them in Progressive Insights to see the one that is significant for this particular session with this set of frequencies. So I'm going to go ahead into here. I'm going to begin the analysis, and then that's going to tell me which of the flower essences really is the most significant for today. Now, very interesting, at the very top of everything comes that first rite of longevity, the twirling. That's really going to help with balance. It's going to help with overall energy. It's a very high vibrational pick-me-up. It's fascinating that comes up at the top. And then we've got that triple heater meridian coming up, all about the digestive system, cleaning and clearing up the digestive system. Now, the flower essence that comes up at the top is Clematis. Clematis. And Clematis is telling us to get grounded in the present moment so that you can move into the direction of your dreams. So Clematis is really when we're thinking about the past or focused on the future, anchor into the present moment. That is a really, really powerful place to come from, is to get anchored in present moment. We're always either in the past, reviewing it, regretting it, whatever it might be, or we're worried or anticipating the future. So getting grounded and anchored in present moment is really powerful for making change. Now, I haven't forgotten the interference fields. We're going to bring them in just a moment. I just want to show you that drill down method of how it works. You balance for 1 minute and it brings you a positive rectification, and then you can move on to drill it down to deeper and deeper layers. So we're going to look at that in just one moment. What is the fuzziness of the aura band? Does the fuzziness of the aura bands matter, says Mary Lee. I tend to see them sort of, crisp up more, have less fuzziness as I go through my session. So yeah, I think about it as being that there's not clarity there, or also that there's static or reactivity or stagnation. Those are things that I associate with that. So there's a lot of good energy flow going on for Gwendolyn. That's wonderful to see. But I just wanted to tell you that one of the things you can do after you get that great rectification is the rescan. So we're going to rescan here. And now it goes through layers. It says we pushed off that superficial layer. Let's go to another layer of depth. And so now we get a flower essence, and we're going to just focus on these high items. And let's see what it says here. It focused a lot on the meridians, different flower essences. It didn't really give us any of the 5 Tibetan rites. We could, let's just scroll down here for a second. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. So it gave us the 3rd rite of longevity and the 2nd rite of longevity, but it's kind of slowed down. Really wanted to just stop for a moment and focus on these energies came up as a priority, which is kind of fascinating. I just go with the flow, you know, just see what is being shown, see what is being revealed. We're going to look at those interference fields in just one moment. So oak is feeling weighed down by duty in a just sort of pushing through exhaustion, and it's asking the person to let go and surrender. And it is very connected with the kidney meridian. So there's sort of a kidney meridian theme in here as well. So, oh, that's not the flower essence though, it's olive. Olive is a remedy for long-standing exhaustion. It's very related to oak. So olive is a remedy for long-standing exhaustion, so long that a complete reset is needed. And it's also related to the kidney meridian. I'm reading from the Success Desk reference cards. I just jumped down to, I looked at oak, but it's actually olive, but they're very similar in a lot of ways. They're really for exhaustion. And that's a state that many of us find ourselves in. If you're a healer, you probably don't even realize that you're in that state of exhaustion because you're very focused on your clients and helping and healing the planet. But again, wow, she did great at going through to rectification each time. That looks great. So 741 hertz, the bladder meridian, which is related to kidneys, and then some other flower essences. Well, I don't want to forget to do a couple of things here as we get towards the top of the hour. First of all, I want to make sure that you have the link so that you can get your free library, and you're just going to go ahead to geniusbiofeedback.com and just check out with the library for free. So nobody really knows about this library except you who are attending live. So we're going to go ahead and give you an opportunity to get this for free, and you just go ahead and you check out. There's no cost to it for you. You do get it completely free, and we'll send it. The one thing that I do ask that you would do today is please take time to make sure that when your email populates in the checkout process, that it is your Genius email, or put it in the order note. So please make sure to include your Genius email in the order, and we'll get that library to you right away. Now, I want to, before we part ways for the day, let's go to the custom library for, we're going to see the one for interference field. So let's look at that one. So an interference field happens. There's something about breaking the skin that's really interesting. You know, the ancient Chinese practitioners, they really didn't do autopsies. They really just looked at the person. They look at, you know, they didn't really like dissect the body a lot. They're very reverent of the body itself. And in analysis, they didn't do a lot of, they did all of their analysis, in other words, from looking at the person, from looking at feeling the pulses, looking at the face, looking at the tongue, and they're very reverential about the body. And you know, in the beginning in classical Chinese medicine, they gave more herbs than doing acupuncture itself. It was more based on the combination and the energetics of the herbs. And of course, there's all types of exercises, Qigong, Tai Chi, and things like that. So my point is that I think about the effects, maybe even just meditate, contemplate, what are the effects of needles or cutting the body? What does that do to the body? Now, I'm sure the body can recover a lot. It can do a lot of things in response to a break, a cut, a surgery, things like that. But does it have some long-standing effect on the body? So from time to time, you may want to clear out the interference fields either through using the Genius. And you can see here, there's like a lot of interesting right toe, right knee. Gwendolyn, I don't know if that means anything to you. And let's go down here. This is saying left leg, back interference. Now, there may just have been a fall. There may not have been a break in the skin. There may not have been a needle there. But it's interesting, all of these interference fields, it's good to clear them from time to time. So let's go ahead and let's put the blues, the reds and the blues in there. And let's go ahead and look at the treatment for interference fields, which is giving us some different clays and things like that. And let's go ahead. So Gwendolyn, yes, go ahead. Tell us all about any thoughts that you have.
This is just truly amazing. You know, when I look back through my life and what the physical garment has been through, And the healing of it, I'm just amazed at how this has picked this up. But
Go right ahead. Go ahead. I missed you there for a second.
no, it's okay.
Yeah, it's fun. Is it so? What is there a specific thing that resonated?
I was making so many notes here. It all specifically resonated.
No, that's fine. Well, that's just an overall blanket
Well,
confirmation.
the total exhaustion thing definitely worked.
Good.
Clearing
Good.
that.
I'm glad that clematis came back again.
Yeah.
I wonder, maybe just so maybe mentally you're probably sort of busy with thinking about your day and thinking about things, but the clematis came up again. It's funny to see that sometimes come up out of all of the flower essences, and we now have quite a few frequencies. And you know, when I'm working on a client, I always look at that. I always observe, you know, isn't that interesting that that might be a recurring theme for that person?
And it's very interesting. I've known all along too, Dr. Ariel, and it's come up here through the Chinese meridian and their medicine as well. I've had a lot of unfortunate surgeries throughout my lifetime, right? So a lot of that has been interfered with, right?
Oh, well, that interference field is going to be great for you. There must have been a reason that we talked about it, because that'll be a huge, and you know, the interference field treatment library has a lot of suggestions like that are coming up for you, like green clay, the mammaliorite clay, which is like bentonite clay. And those are not to be taken internally. They're actually applications to the places where you've had the injury, and they can be life-changing. And you learn to mix, obviously, the clay with water, and then you actually do a physical application to the body. And we certainly can give you some recommendations for that. And you keep it on the body for a while, and it changes your whole energetic field. It pulls out toxins, right, which might be in the area where the surgery or the injury occurred. And it really helps your whole field, in addition to the genius and other things that you're doing. It's a really cool thing to do.
Wonderful. And there was some interference for sure in the digestion. That's where a lot of the surgery transpired 32 years ago. So
amazing.
I'm just very excited about working with this.
Ooh, I love it.
Yes.
I absolutely love it. Well, I'm so glad that you volunteered today. We had a chance to work with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, let's finish up here. I did just want to run one more minute, and then we'll look at some of the comments that you've got here. Has anyone had post-operation frequency come up? This happened to me a couple of days ago, but I haven't had a surgery. Oh, that sounds like it's in Entangled Insights. I would just go with it and run that frequency. Any surgery on the body will disturb thank you so much, Martine. Any surgery on the body will disturb the organ chi system. That's why classical Chinese medicine does not revert to surgery unless it's necessary. See, that's exactly what I was talking about. Exactly. You and I, we've lined up. That's the point I was trying to make. So thank you so much. Okay, so looking forward to using this library. I'm excited to get it to you. I'm very keen on getting this library and running it on myself, and then opening it up to clients. Get ready to see this YouTube recording, Good Vibrations. Okay, thank you so much, Terry. Terry's like, you can see him in the chat. He's very skilled with Telegram. So if you want to connect with him and get into his Telegram, he's doing a great job. Okay, so Catherine says, thank you. This is amazing. I found these rites in 2000 and did them all the time. I slacked off for years and started doing them again a few months ago. I'll now start to use them. Oh, wow. Let's just do another minute here as we're sort of wrapping up. I will now use them daily. Bless you for all you do. Okay, Catherine, you're in perfect timing. You're the one in synchronicity. Thank you. Yeah, these are fun to get reminders, right? They're ancient, right? But we get out of habit of doing the things that we know that are really helpful for us. And so it's nice to do this. What does the black color mean in the aura? You know, I just take black, gray, and brown to mean stagnation or stuck. I don't necessarily associate anything nefarious or bad with the black. It's just more like an absence of energy of the way that I read it. What is the color in the center? Well, we're still trying to figure that out because it used to be covered up and now it's been removed. But a lot of times that central color may be the theme that the person is working on. Danielle, thank you for your question. The only problem is having a search facility, especially when you are including nearly 400 libraries for inclusion. I know you're talking about the custom playlist. I'll have to get into it on my device and take a look. Now we did get to 30% rectification. We didn't quite get there. Let me just read a couple more comments here. I made a playlist combining Nogier and solfeggio and use it with almost every genius use. All right, fantastic. But that's not with the custom libraries. Why is the center ring of the aura sometimes a small circle and sometimes a larger oval center? I have not even one clue on that one, Betsy, but that is a good question. I'm sorry, I'm lost the internet. Where can we get the library? Somebody maybe reprint the link. Just go to geniusbiofeedback.com and just look up, type in 5 rites of longevity and just check out what the product on the website. Okay, I'm excited to get everybody this library. Let's see if we can get this to more than 40% rectification. And I just wanted to look at the final aura before we tie everything up with a nice bow. And I know there's a couple of questions here. Can you show the other pictures of all the exercises? Now we did, but actually we did show them in the slides. So if you go back and look at the video, you can see we did do all 5 of them. But Mark, do this. Just go anywhere online. Just go to YouTube and say 5 Tibetan Rites. Just Google 5 Tibetan Rites. You're going to see tons of pictures. They're very well known throughout the internet. Wow, we only got to 39% rectification. Isn't that amazing? So there was something about that series, probably with the interference fields, that really resonated for you, Gwendolyn. It's absolutely fascinating. But let's do now, see if we see anything different in the aura as we sort of wind everything up here. And okay. Terry, you can, everybody right now, you can go ahead and post your Telegram into the chat if you'd like to share it with other Genius users. What we love about Terry, we've been talking about Telegram in our business membership, and Terry has a wonderful Telegram that we've been learning from, where he posts a lot of really great content in order to draw people with the power of attraction to his Telegram so he can grow his genius practice that way. So it's interesting that we're ending up, right, with that sort of brown ring around the edge. Do you have any thoughts about it?
Is that just pushing it out? That's what I think. I think it's just, it's moving it.
Yeah, I think that that's a really reasonable way of looking at it. There's no, cut and dried way to interpret the aura. We're still really learning about it. But yeah, it may be pushing energy out. Well, I think what's interesting between the second and the third aura, Gwendolyn, is it's not like it's going to be a worse aura. Like there's a lot, that's a really strong energy coming through related to crown chakra that's coming through here. And these are brighter as well. And especially if we look from the first to the last, there's a lot of strengthening energy coming through. But yeah, I think you're right. I think this is more like that digestive, assimilation, liver, gallbladder that you're pushing out, and there's no more of it left. Like there's no more within the tighter aspects of the aura. So you're doing absolutely fantastic at clearing. Good job, and keep up the great work in all that you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm just so honored and to have met you and been on this, and just so grateful. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Gwendolyn. Big, big hugs, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Please go to geniusbiofeedback.com and just type in the 5 Tibetan Rites of Longevity. As you can see it here, because you attended live, you're actually just going to be able to check out, boop, 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 just 0, just check out, and we'll be sending that to you. Just please, if you can, take a moment when you're checking out to say, hey, is that my Genius library that I'm, Genius email that I'm checking out with? Or please put it in the order notes, because it's just sort of hecka hard for us to get over, 100, 200 orders and just not know what your Genius email account is. So that will really help us to get this library to you. So thanks everybody for being part of our Genius community. Join us next week. Next week, remember to join us. We're gonna have more free stuff, you guys. If you like free stuff, come back next week. We're gonna give away a lot of prizes. We're gonna do our trivia contest, and we're gonna have some cool things that you can imprint. We'll talk more about imprinting and shungite and things like that. So trivia contest, study all your Genius stuff and come back and volunteer for a trivia contest next week. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye for now. Thanks again, Gwendolyn. Take care.